But I got another question here. Last one. I think this is a good question. I don't know if there's quite an answer to it, but I have somewhat of an answer. It's not a technical answer. It's not an answer you can measure. It's
Is
it's
this
one of
another one
those.
from our guy Frazier?
No, this is from a dude on Twitter. I can't remember his name. I just kind of wrote the name down, but or the question down. But I'll look that up here in a second. But it was just why did teams miss on players in the draft? Like you had Dak Prescott last
Oh
year.
God,
People,
that's
everybody missed on him. Tom Brady, everybody missed on him. People miss on people all the time in draft. How does that happen? Why does that happen? Is scouting just that bad now?
you know, it's not even so much the draft is a crystal ball process. When you deal with free agency, you generally are dealing with what you know. You're dealing with the known
Mm-hmm.
when you deal with free agency. These guys are in the NFL. You know what they can do. You know what they are.
But
Some guys just need a change of scenery to reinvigorate.
even then though, you
But
don't
with
really
the
know what you're
draft,
getting because there are so many. You look at Albert Hainsworth.
yeah,
You look at
but
him when he played in Tennessee. You'd think, my God, that man's a wrecking crew, and I'll give him all the money in the world, which the Redskins did, and then he didn't do anything.
yeah, yeah, and then you have things like where the Chargers let Drew Brees walk out the door, and he went and he became a future Hall of Famer in New Orleans.
Yeah, you just
I mean, the draft more so though. The draft is a real crystal ball type thing because you have to take chances, and some guys just don't look like they're going to do it. Some guys don't look the part in college, and part of that is the eye test, and part of it's measurables. Some scouts scout differently. Different personnel people draft differently. Richard Sherman was thought to be too slow, average in coverage, not strong at the point of attack, a poor tackler, and lasted until the fifth round. And now look what he is.
yeah.
Bart Starr was not drafted until the 17th round. Let that sink in. People talk about Tom Brady lasting as late as he did. Bart Starr was drafted in the 17th round.
Yeah, I mean it's you even look at the newest addition to the Dallas Mavericks, Mr. Tony Romo, wasn't even drafted, undrafted dude.
Undrafted.
So for me, on the question of why do teams miss on players, I think it just comes down to the fact that you can't measure a man's heart and a man's mind, and what's driving him and what is. I think it's more of a mental thing on why people miss on players because you look at a guy like Vernon Gholston
Yeah.
who was a beast in college who measured incredibly in every way possible in the combine and looked like a can't miss player. But you don't know what happens to a guy when you give a 20-year-old kid millions of dollars, put him on national television, treat him like a star, give him endorsement deals. You don't know what's going to
And
happen to that
that's
dude's
what the
mind.
interview process is for. That's why they make guys take the Wonderlic. That's why they make guys do the interviews at the combine. And even that is subjective. And these guys get coached how to be interviewed
Yeah,
now too. So you have to try to tell who's being genuine, and they ask some really off the wall questions. But I mean, you're right. When it comes down to it, especially the way these guys get coached up for interviews and they practice for the Wonderlic test, it's incredibly hard to measure that kind of stuff. And the misses go both ways. Like you talked about Golston, he looked like a guy who was going to crush it, and then he got to the league and became known as the
yeah.
Ghost because that's what he was on the field. Ryan Leaf was taken ahead of Peyton Manning. Look how that worked out for San Diego.
I don't think it was that bad. I
And
think
then,
Manning was picked before Ryan Leaf. I think
oh yeah, yeah. God, I'm no, he wasn't. No, Leaf went number one.
you
Leaf went number one. Manning went
want to bet
two.
money on it?
Yeah,
How much?
I don't know. I ain't got anything on me. I got a quarter in my pocket.
All right, I'll bet you. I'll bet you a quarter. I swear, I think Peyton. Yeah, I'm not gonna look it up because
I'm looking it up right
it's
now. I
That's Peyton Manning was number one. Ryan Leaf was number two. I'm pretty sure.
I I swear Ryan Leaf was number one because everybody freaked out about it. Oh no, you're right. My bad. I owe you a
Yes.
quarter.
Now who's the winner? You were perfect on green and gold on the roster, green and gold imposter last week. You were perfect then. Now who's the winner? Now who's the smart
Yeah,
winner?
yeah, yeah. Have your cake.
You can keep your
Yeah.
quarter though. I'm eating it too. You can keep your quarter though. It's fine. Uh, but it's missing on players. It happens all the time. All you got to do is look here. Even recently in the draft, you look at, especially at the cornerback position, you look at guys like Justin Gilbert and D. Milliner
Oh,
and these cornerbacks that are taken in the top 10, and you're just like, wow, these are the next Deion Sanders, and
you can
then
look at our safety
nothing.
situation. The Jets took Calvin Pryor right ahead of us taking HaHa Clinton Dix.
Thank God.
Who had the better deal there?
Yeah, really.
Or you look at misses, you look at Tremont Williams, you look at Sam Shields.
Yeah,
Neither of those guys even got drafted.
it's because you can't measure how much a man's willing to work and how much he wants it, how bad he wants it. There's so many guys out there that have all the talent in the world. You look at the Josh Gordons and the Justin Blackmons of the world, and when you look at wide receivers, all the talent in the world, they could be unstoppable, dominant, but they didn't have it in them mentally, or they didn't have the heart for it. They're off in other places. That's why I respect a guy like Ricky Williams, who when he got to a point where he was like,
Yeah,
I don't really care about doing this anymore, he quit and went and did something else. Then when he wanted to do it again, he came back. You look at Marshawn
yeah.
Lynch. Marshawn Lynch said, "To hell with this. I don't really want to play anymore." I think he's coming back though. He looks like he's going back to Oakland. So
The Raiders.
yeah, BJ
Well, and
Raji.
you have,
Look at Raji. Raji
yeah,
Raji could still be playing, still be collecting a check somewhere. Could be half-assing
Chris
it.
Borland.
Chris Borland.
Chris Borland played 1 year and decided it just wasn't for him anymore. But then you have the hits too. You have guys that other people look over and they're like, "Oh, I'm not taking him." Look what the Ravens got with Joe Flacco. He came out of Delaware.
Yeah. I don't.
That guy has super. He's not the greatest quarterback ever, but he's been solid, and he has a playoff resume like Eli Manning.
It's true. You can't argue that. He's I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd want an Eli Manning on my team. I don't. Has nothing to do with the point, but I was just thinking about our friend, the New York Bozo.
The New York
And I was like,
Bozo,
he goes through a lot of pain and suffering, but he does have
that he does.
he has seen as many, if not more, actually. I think yeah, he would have seen more Super Bowls in his time than I have as a Packers fan. So, and I've had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers pretty much my whole life. So,
Yeah.
yeah, what can you do?